We always talk, especially in the new year, we talk about new year, new you, but I don't think we need new versions of ourselves. I think we need the version that existed before we were told that we had to be perfect, palatable, pleasing, right? Before you had to make yourself small to make everything else work. Welcome to the Core Happiness Podcast. I'm your host, Kacee Banks, a mindset and positive psychology coach. On this podcast, we discuss all things related to creating happiness from within. So let's do it. Welcome back to the show. Have you ever had that feeling where you looked in the mirror one day or you just thought to yourself, like, where did I go? Who is this person looking back at me? I've had clients say this to me recently where it's just like, I don't even recognize myself anymore. This happens to a lot of people. I know it happened to me. And I feel like a lot of us can relate to that because I think that that is a common thing where we just look up one day and we're like, who is this person that I've become? I don't recognize myself. And it got me thinking that this didn't happen overnight. It seems like it happened overnight. You know, when we have the realization sometimes it comes out of nowhere and it's just like, what's going on? How did I get here? And you start replaying things in your mind of like, I don't even know when that pivot came. When did the time come that I abandoned myself or forgot myself? But we didn't just wake up one morning and forget who we are. It happens little by little. It starts with a yes when we really wanted to say no. It starts in those moments where we had to soften our truth to make life easier for someone else. It's in the roles that we learned to play a little too well to where we forgot they were roles, just a part of who we are. So if you're sitting there feeling a little numb, if you're feeling disconnected from the person that you used to know, I hope you hear me when I say you're not broken. You may just be buried. And the path back to yourself isn't about pushing harder. It's about remembering gently, being kind to yourself, and trying to remember the parts of you that may have been abandoned over time. But that heaviness, that restlessness, it's feedback, right? It's your soul tugging at you. It's your soul saying like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still over here. What we usually do when we feel lost or stuck or unclear, we start adding on more things. We start feeling like we need more habits, more routine, more responsibility. If we can just prove ourselves in some way, that will make that feeling go away. But that isn't the answer. More isn't the answer. The answer is healing. And healing only happens through subtraction. Once we're able to clear everything away that was never truly ours to carry in the first place, that is where the healing begins. That's where we can get back to listening to ourselves, remembering who we were. And now I want you to just ask yourself, what am I carrying that I was never meant to hold? Maybe it's the pressure of always having to be the strong one. Maybe it's the guilt of not meeting every single expectation of every single role that's been placed upon you. Maybe it's that old belief that we have to earn love by sacrificing ourselves. Whatever it is, understand that healing begins when you name it. We don't find ourselves by running faster. We find ourselves when we get still enough to hear ourselves. And when I say still, I'm talking about 3 minutes a day, just to sit, breathe, be, no scrolling, no fixing, no numbing, just to sit in silence with yourself and just see what comes up. Because here's the thing, silence isn't empty. Silence is actually full of answers. Your inner self, your inner voice is there. It's not gone. The woman that you think you've lost, the girl that you think you've lost is still there, just waiting in the quiet, waiting to be heard. And when you're able to hear her, really listen to what she has to say to you. What comes up for you? Don't question it. And then ask better questions instead of saying, what's wrong with me? How do I fix this? I think the questions we need to ask ourselves are, what part of myself have I silenced just to survive? If I didn't have to earn love, who would I dare to become? Who would I have the courage to be? Growth doesn't come from shaming yourself into better habits. It comes from radical honesty without judgment, just honesty about where you have abandoned yourself over time. The other thing is, I don't think we need new versions of ourselves. We need the version that existed before we were told to be perfect, palatable, pleasing, before you had to make yourself small to make everything else work. Because it's more than self-improvement, it's soul recovery. And maybe for the first time, we can stop striving, start listening, because we all still have that girl inside of us who never stopped believing that we were worthy in the first place. I mean, really, truly think about it. We weren't born being self-conscious. We weren't born being self-deprecating. We learned that over time, right? So today, I invite you to try a tiny but very powerful practice where you just take out your journal, take out a notepad, something to write with. It can even be the note app on your phone, whatever it is, and answer the following questions. When do I feel most like myself? Then ask, what small choices am I making every day that pull me away from her or the person I want to be? Because again, you cannot heal what you don't honor. And all I'm asking is for you to honor yourself today. 3 minutes is all I'm asking. And I want to take a minute here to pause for a second and just acknowledge the people who are listening, you know who you are, who are thinking, I would love to do this. This makes sense, but when am I going to find the time? I know you said it's only 3 minutes, but I don't even have 3 minutes. I don't have the time to do this. Maybe one day. I'll pencil this down and I'll get to it when I have time. If only there were just more hours in the day, I would be able to get it all done. I could do all my obligations. I could also have time for myself. And I know you said joy, but like not everything is going to be joy. Work's not joy. And I get it. I get it. And I hear you. But what if I told you that time management isn't the problem? What if the problem were all these invisible contracts that we've signed with the world about our worth? I don't think that we're overwhelmed because we're unorganized or lazy or just unable to juggle. I think we're overwhelmed because we live inside these silent agreements. If I rest, I'm failing. If I say no, I'm selfish. If I slow down, I'll be behind. If I stop, I'll be forgotten. And every time we uphold these contracts, we hand away our peace. You can buy the prettiest planner, organizer in the world. You can optimize your calendar down to the last minute. But if your life is filled with things that drain you, time management can't save you. Only being honest and truthful with yourself can you really solve that problem. If this notion makes you uncomfortable, makes you a little anxious, then it's probably because you were taught that worth has to be earned through exhaustion or productivity. What if slowing down instead of failing, what if it meant restoration? What if slowing down is how you come back to life? So instead of needing more hours in a day, I think most of us just need more alignment with how we're spending our hours per day. For example, if you say yes to something when you really want to say no, what would it look like? How would it change things if you checked in with yourself first? And before even responding, before saying yes or no, what if you just asked yourself, does this nourish the person I'm becoming, or does it exhaust me? And this is not about overanalyzation. This is a quick answer. What is the gut response? If your gut is like, no, I really don't want to do this, then don't. You can say no. No is a complete sentence. If your initial reaction is like, I want to do this. And notice how I said want, not should. If you want to do it, then say yes. Just imagine how things would change if we checked in with ourselves and then honored that. Because time isn't something that you run out of. It's something you protect. And I'm sure you've heard the saying, like, the most valuable currency in this world is time. It's the one thing we cannot get back. So imagine if your calendar was a sacred space holding only what reflects your values. What would it look like? You deserve a life that supports your aliveness, not just your survival. When you are planning your day, when you're looking at your schedule, when you're planning your week, your month, what's the main thing driving the things that you're planning? And it's obligation. Is it, I have to do this? Or is there joy? Is there excitement? Is there passion behind the things that you're scheduling? My challenge for you this week is to open your calendar, look at the next week ahead of you, highlight 3 commitments that you've made that feel like obligations. And when I say obligations, I mean they're a little draining. You don't want to do them. They don't spark joy. Out of the 3, choose 1 and say no. And again, no is a complete sentence. You do not need to explain. You do not need to elaborate. You can just say no. I'm sorry. No, can't. If you can't say no, delegate. Ask for help. Maybe someone else can help. Maybe someone else can step in. And if you absolutely cannot delegate, then reschedule it. Schedule it for a time when you have no more than one other obligation scheduled for the week. Because sometimes it's about creating room, not just for time, but for yourself. So try that this week and see how it feels. And check in with yourself. I guarantee you are going to feel so much lighter, more in control. I feel like you're going to have a lot of clarity. It's going to help with prioritization. Because I think sometimes we just have to regain control of our time versus wishing for more time. Remember that you were never meant to live on empty. You are meant to overflow. So let's start filling this cup. Remember to prioritize your time and your peace. Only you can do that. No one else can do it for you. Remember, you're not broken. You're not lost. You're just buried. And it's time to uncover and get back to who you are at the root. Until the next time. I thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this podcast, please feel free to rate it or leave a review. If you have any thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you. You can email podcast@corehappiness.com. For show notes and additional resources, you can visit www.corehappiness.com. As always, please remember, never let anyone diminish your light. Until next time, sending you my love.